The Bonfire of the Vanities, Paul's Welder of Florence, The Wolf of Wall Street, Seven Pillars of Lawrence, St. Elmo by the Sea, The Allure of Homer's Siren, The Mysteries of Udolpho, Hollowed Environ. That's an extract from a poem of mine called the Sartori Preface. And it's also a song. And they're both on my album, St. Elmo by the Sea. Daniel, the record company boss, had just released a compilation album. And we were going to be releasing Laundromat as a single. And he said to me, do you have anything? And I said, actually I do. I've got this album called St. Elmo by the Sea. Would you be interested in hearing it? And he heard it and he said, I like this. And to the extent that Daniel took the title track, St. Elmo by the Sea, remixed it and released it as a single. And St. Elmo by the Sea is holistically Kraftwerk. It's totally Kraftwerk, but it's also Vince Clarke era Depeche Mode. It's also got that. So it's a kind of a bifurcation of Kraftwerk and Vince Clarke era Depeche Mode. Now, I had an interview with a journalist not too long after that, and the journalist said two things to me. Sit down, and I really like After Rayful, which was the first song on St. Elmo by the Sea. Aesthetically, St. Elmo by the Sea is kind of influenced by Brian Eno. I mean, his aesthetic is kind of all over the album. Artistically, not so much musically, but artistically, Brian Eno's aesthetic. But there is a track on the album called Eno Terrace, the eponymous hymns and arias from the terraces. Basically, it's kind of it's my hip hop genre stuff. It's that, and kind of thinking about kind of when Eno left Roxy Music, his music kind of being played from the terraces during half-time at soccer matches in England. Now, the other thing about St. Elmo by the Sea, the tracks are kind of influenced by the paintings of Marc Chagall, the Belarusian artist, domiciled in France for most of his life. The temperament and the mood of the songs are influenced by Chagall. Now, the other thing is, okay, I mentioned like that St. Elmo by the Sea is influenced by Kraftwerk and Vince Clarke era Depeche Mode, and that Eno Terrace is kind of kind of hip hop, but kind of the other stuff like After Rayful, Sartori Preface, Radiant Plateau, Lunaria 67, The Waves Orlando, and Circus of Dreams, and all these songs, those are kind of, it's kind of more soulage kind of stuff. That's my stuff. That's coming from the kind of synth pop ambience that I've been working on for quite a while. So in terms of who influenced that music and stuff, nobody. That's actually coming from me directly. Again, kind of working on developing kind of ideas and structures and kind of essences and mores and aesthetics and stuff like that. So it's coming from that. So that's not really coming from any particular source, actually. Even though the title track is, pretty much the rest of the album is pretty much original. And it's a bit of a gem, actually. It's a fabulous little album. And St. Elmo by the Sea got the single got nominated for the Cork Playlist Song of the Week, and actually we've had the most nominations from that album. It's a fantastic little album, and got a mention on NME as well during the Steve interview. So maybe you'll check it out sometime. I'll post some links. Thank you very much for listening.